Hi, welcome back. Last video I just implemented the component did mount using the useEffect hook. Here you see. Now I will try to implement a component did update using the useEffect hook. Let me start component did update implementations. I'm going to use the useEffect hook here, and that useEffect hook will be ran based on some condition. Suppose that I have this use effect hook. Okay, that use effect hook basically accepting two argument, callback method, and then dependency array. So if I want to implement component did update here using use effect hook, in that scenario I need to provide some state or props here. You can say variable. So whenever that particular variable or state getting updated, at the time I want to run this particular callback method. So what I want, I'm just going to create a button. Like when I'm clicking on that button, it should call that particular API and get the data from the database. So for that I'm just going to create a button, and then I have fetch. Okay, when I'm clicking on this button I want to call the APIs. Okay, so for that purpose I am going to create one of the, you can say, stat. So here I'm going to use stat hook. Okay, and fetch, this is the variable which is going to store my state value, and then set to fetch, which is method which we are going to call when I want to set my state. Okay, I need to import that particular use stat hook from React. Okay, here I'm importing the use stat hook and I'm using it here. So initially my use stat hook, you can say that fetch is false. When I'm clicking on that particular fetch button, I want to set that particular fetch to be true. Okay, so for that I'm just going to create I'm going to use an event, that it on click event in the React.js. I'm just setting that particular state value to the true, so that whenever that is true I just want to call the API. Okay, so I'm just setting up that particular set fetch method to be true. Okay, okay, whenever this particular, you can say, that particular fetch value is getting changed, I mean when I click on this particular on click button, I mean this on this button fetch button, it will going to change my fetch value. So what I want, whenever that particular fetch value is getting changed, I mean from false to true, I want at that time to call the API axios.get, and then that I can mention this URL which I am already having. Okay, and yeah, I'm going to use dot then to handle the response. Okay, console.log response, and to handle the error I'm going to use dot catch method, and I'm just calling, just if I'm getting error I'm just going to console log that error. So here if you see, I have this particular thing. Okay, let me check this particular thing here. Let me refresh my page. Okay, I'm having this fetch button. When I'm clicking on this fetch button, what I want at that time, that particular state is getting updated. And that, so here if you see, I have fetch button. If I'm clicking on this fetch button, I want to call the API. Okay, so if I check the console log, and if I click on this one, it is calling the API. If you see, it is used to true. And I'm clicking on this fetch button. I'm setting up the fetch value to the true. If you see, we can implement the component did update using useEffect hook by just passing dependency variable here in dependency array. When I'm clicking on the fetch button, it is setting up the fetch value to true. It's mean like it's changing from false to true, and that value is getting changed. So that's why like use effect callback method will be run here, and that will return, I mean, I will be able to call an API and then it will return a response. So this is how we can implement component did update using use effect hook.